Chosen one. Do you know what it means to have been left completely alone during the most critical moments of your life? I am not referring to physical solitude, where there is no one in the room. I am referring to that devastating kind of loneliness where you are surrounded by people but none of them can understand what you are going through, where you scream for help and the words come out of your mouth but no one seems to really hear. Well, let me reveal something to you that is going to completely change how you see that brutal solitude. It was not abandonment. It was the final exam. And exactly 7 days ago, without you knowing it, without ceremony, without human witnesses, you passed it. You passed with such a high grade that the celestial courts had to convene an emergency meeting to decide what to do with you, because your level of spiritual maturity has no precedent in your personal timeline. And tonight, exactly at 3:33 in the morning, something is going to happen that only occurs when a human soul completes its spiritual initiation. Heaven is going to crown you. I am not talking about pretty symbolism or poetic metaphor. I am revealing a real event in invisible dimensions where celestial authorities are going to officially recognize that you completed your transformation and you are ready to operate at a level of power that would have previously destroyed you. Subscribe to this channel right now and activate all notifications, because what I am going to reveal to you about why you passed that exam that destroyed millions of others. What exactly the 333-hour means and what changes in your reality after heaven crowns you is going to make you finally understand why you had to go through that specific hell that no one else could see. And stay until the end, because I am going to show you exactly what you did 7 days ago that activated the celestial graduation protocol. Why the hour of 3:33 this morning is not coincidence but divine appointment programmed before you were born. And what are the 3 specific signs you are going to experience in the next 24 hours that confirm your celestial coronation was successfully executed? Write 777 in the comments if you feel that something invisible changed in you recently, but you cannot explain exactly what it was. But before explaining to you what is going to happen exactly at 3:33 in the morning, you need to understand something about that exam you passed 7 days ago, because it was not a common test. It was an evaluation specifically designed to measure something that 98% of humanity never develops. Unbreakable character. Let me explain how real spiritual tests work, not the sugar-coated versions they taught you in church. There are 3 levels of evaluation that each soul must go through before being entrusted with real spiritual power. Level 1. Tests of obedience. Here they evaluate if you can follow rules when there is external authority watching you. It is basic level, a small child who behaves well because mommy is watching. Most religious people operate at this level their whole life. They do what is right because they fear punishment or seek reward. Level 2. Tests of conviction. Here they evaluate if you can maintain your principles when there is social pressure to compromise them. A teenager who says no to drugs even though all their friends use them. It requires more strength than level 1, but still depends on you having mental clarity to make conscious decisions. Level 3. Tests of automatic character. And this is where 98% of humanity fails, because this level does not evaluate you when you are alert, when you are prepared, when you are aware that you are being tested. It evaluates you when you are broken, exhausted, devastated, operating on autopilot, without energy to think, and in that moment of complete vulnerability, when you do not have strength to act consciously, when you simply respond from what you really are without masks. There your true character is revealed. It is like those videos where people are secretly filmed to see what they do when they believe no one is watching them. The difference is that in level 3 spiritual tests, not only is no human observing you, you also do not have energy to observe yourself. You simply act from your deepest essence. And 7 days ago, between 6 o'clock in the evening and 9 at night, you faced a moment that put you in that exact state. You do not remember. It was an evaluation because you did not have energy even to recognize you were being tested. You were too tired, too broken, too exhausted to act consciously. But here is what happened. Even in that state of complete exhaustion, when no one was watching you, when no one would know if you chose differently, when you had all the justification in the world to take the easy path, you maintained your integrity. Maybe someone treated you with unjust cruelty, and your automatic response was not revenge, but silent dignity. Maybe you had an opportunity to take a shortcut that no one would notice, and you simply could not do it, even though you were desperate. Maybe you received private information about someone, and your first instinct was not to share it, but to protect that privacy. The specific detail does not matter. What matters is that in that moment of complete vulnerability, you demonstrated something that made the celestial observers who monitor the development of human souls stop everything they were doing. You demonstrated that your goodness is not performance. Before we go further, if this message is already speaking to something deep inside you, if you feel something stirring in your chest, your support means everything to this work. There is a link in the description below and pinned in the comments where you can sow a seed. It is a small act that carries enormous spiritual weight. When you pour into something that pours into you, you open a channel of reciprocity between yourself and heaven. Every contribution, no matter how small, tells the universe you are ready to receive. Check the description and the comments for that link whenever you feel moved. Now, let us continue. It is not a conscious act that you execute when you have energy. It is who you really are at such a deep level that it operates automatically even when you are destroyed. And that chosen one is the definitive sign that a soul completed its spiritual transformation. Because here is the truth that organized religions never explain to you correctly. The objective of your journey is not to learn more information about God. The objective is to transform yourself so much that divine nature becomes your automatic nature. Jesus did not say learn about love. He said love your enemies. He did not say understand forgiveness. He said forgive, because he knew that real transformation is not in your head. It is in who you become when you no longer have conscious control over who you are. And when you passed that test 7 days ago, when you maintained integrity in that moment of complete exhaustion, you activated something in the celestial spheres that has a specific name in ancient text, spiritual graduation. It is not a term I invented. It appears in mystical scriptures of all traditions. The moment where a soul demonstrates it completed its initiation and is ready for greater responsibilities to receive spiritual authority, to be crowned. Now, let me explain why your coronation is scheduled specifically for 3:33 in the morning tonight, because that time is not random. It is one of the most powerful hours on the universe's spiritual clock. In mystical traditions around the world, certain times are recognized as moments where the veil between dimensions thins. 3 in the morning is called the hour of souls or the hour of spirit, because it is when human mental activity is at its lowest point and spiritual activity is at its highest point. Why? Because between 3 and 4 in the morning, most of humanity is in deep sleep. Their conscious minds are off. The collective mental noise that normally fills the spiritual atmosphere is silenced, and in that silence, the invisible dimensions can operate with less interference. But 333 has additional significance. The number 3 repeated 3 times is considered in sacred numerology as a code of divine completion. Trinity. 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 I am not talking about superstition. I am talking about mathematical patterns that appear consistently in sacred texts of all traditions. Jesus began his ministry at 30 years old. He died at 33. David reigned 33 years in Jerusalem. There are 33 vertebrae in the human spine, the physical column that supports consciousness. The number appears over and over in moments of spiritual completion. And when you see 333, it is not coincidence. It is the universe using the only language it can to communicate with those who are spiritually awake. Synchronicity. So tonight at 3 to 33 in the morning, while your conscious mind is asleep and your ego defenses are down, the celestial authorities are going to execute a protocol that has been described in mystical texts for thousands of years, but that most modern people dismiss as metaphor. They are going to crown you. And when I say crown you, I mean they are going to do 3 specific things to your energy field that are going to permanently change how you operate in this reality. First, they are going to activate your spiritual authority. This is the energetic frequency that allows you to speak truth and have it land differently than when others speak the same words. It is not about what you say. It is about the weight your words carry. When someone with spiritual authority speaks, something in the listener's soul recognizes it is hearing truth, even if their mind wants to resist. You have felt this before, when certain teachers or leaders speak, and you feel it in your chest, not just in your head. After tonight, you are going to carry that frequency, not because you are better than others, but because you completed the training necessary to handle that level of influence without abusing it. Second, they are going to activate your energetic sovereignty. This is the spiritual frequency that makes you immune to manipulation, immune to fear-based control, immune to the collective chaos that pulls most people into reactive patterns. It does not mean nothing will ever bother you again. It means you are going to have a core stability that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Like a tree with roots so deep that storms can bend it but never uproot it. After tonight, you are going to notice that things that used to trigger you into anxiety or anger simply do not have that power anymore. Not because you are suppressing your emotions, but because you are operating from a different energetic foundation. Third, they are going to activate your intuitive discernment. This is the spiritual capacity to sense what is true and what is false, what is aligned and what is deceptive, not through intellectual analysis, but through direct knowing. After tonight, you are going to start noticing that you just know things without being able to explain how you know them. You are going to meet someone and immediately sense their true character beneath their social mask. You are going to hear a news story and instantly recognize the truth behind the propaganda. You are going to face a decision and feel clear guidance about which path to take. This is not psychic ability. It is spiritual maturity. It is what happens when your soul completes its transformation and becomes capable of perceiving reality at deeper levels than most humans access. And here is what you need to know about these 3 activations. They are not gifts that are given to you to make your life easier or to make you special. They are tools that are entrusted to you so you can fulfill your specific mission in this critical moment of human history. If this ministry has strengthened your faith, consider strengthening someone else's when you give through the link in the description or pinned comment, whether by sowing a seed, partnering monthly, or joining our community. You are not funding content. You are fueling the Great Commission. Every gift becomes gospel carried further. Every act of generosity pushes light into places we may never physically stand. There are people one message away from hope, one prayer away from surrender, one encounter away from salvation. Your generosity helps us reach them. This is more than support. It is participation. You are stepping into the harvest field with us now. Let me tell you about the 3 signs you are going to experience in the next 24 hours that will confirm your coronation was successfully executed. Sign number 1. Unusual mental clarity. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you are going to notice that your mind is different, clearer, quieter, like someone cleaned a window you did not even know was dirty. Thoughts that normally circle and repeat are going to settle. Anxieties that normally consume mental energy are going to feel distant, and in that clarity, you are going to start seeing solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable before. This is not positive thinking. This is what happens when your consciousness gets upgraded, and you start operating from a higher frequency where problems that seemed impossible at the lower frequency simply resolve naturally. Sign number 2. Deep peace in your body. Tomorrow, you are going to notice a physical sensation of peace in your chest and solar plexus that has nothing to do with your external circumstances. Even if your life situation is still challenging, even if your problems are still there, you are going to feel this underlying current of peace that does not make logical sense. This is the energetic sovereignty activating in your nervous system. Your body is going to know at a cellular level that you are safe, that you are supported, that you are exactly where you need to be on your journey. Sign number 3. Perfect synchronicities. Tomorrow, you are going to start experiencing coincidences that are too perfect to be random. You are going to think of someone, and they are going to call you. You are going to need specific information, and it is going to appear in front of you. You are going to face a challenge, and the exact resource you need is going to show up at the exact moment. This is not luck. This is what happens when you complete your spiritual graduation, and the universe starts coordinating reality around you in new ways, because now you can be trusted with that level of support. If you are experiencing these signs, write "crowned" in the comments so others can witness your testimony and be encouraged on their own journey. Now, I need to warn you about something critical that can destroy everything you gained if you are not conscious of it. The temptation of spiritual pride when you wake up tomorrow feeling those 3 signs. When you notice your mental clarity, your deep peace, when you experience perfect synchronicities, there is going to be a temptation to believe you are special, that you are better than others, that you finally arrived, and now you can look down at everyone who is still struggling. Resist that temptation with all your strength, because here is the truth. Being crowned does not make you superior to anyone. It makes you responsible for more. Every person on this planet is exactly where they need to be on their own journey. Some are at the beginning, others in the middle, some close to completing, but everyone is walking the same path of transformation. You simply completed this stage. That does not make you better. It makes you useful in new ways. And if you allow spiritual pride to enter your heart, if you begin to judge others for not being where you are going to lose your coronation. Not immediately, but gradually. Those 3 authorizations you received are going to begin to weaken because the universe does not trust power to those who use it to elevate themselves above others. It only trusts power to those who use it to elevate others. So when you feel that temptation of pride, when you notice you are starting to judge someone for still struggling with things you already overcame, remember 3 years ago. Remember when it was you who was broken. Remember how many times you failed before finally passing, and instead of judging, have compassion. Instead of superiority, have humility. Instead of separation, recognize shared humanity. Now, let me tell you about the only one who can take away your crown after you receive it tonight. And it is not God. It is not the devil. It is not external circumstances. It is yourself. The crown you receive is not a physical object that is permanently stuck to your head. It is an energetic frequency that you maintain while you maintain your integrity. And the only way to lose that frequency is if deliberately, consciously knowing what you are doing, you choose to compromise your character, not by mistake, not by momentary weakness, but by calculated decision to betray your principles for personal gain. After being crowned, when you have those 3 active authorizations, if you choose to use them to manipulate, control, or intentionally harm others, the consequences are devastating because now you have real power, and misused power creates instant multiplied karma. That is why the level 3 test is so rigorous. That is why they evaluated you multiple times before finally approving you. Because the universe needs to be absolutely sure that you are not going to abuse the power they are giving you. And you demonstrated that even when you are completely exhausted, even when no one is watching you, even when it would be easier to choose differently, your automatic character chooses integrity. That is the guarantee the universe needed before crowning you. So tonight, when the celestial courts execute your spiritual graduation at 3:33 in the morning, when your energy field is temporarily elevated to receive those 3 authorizations, remember this: with great power comes great responsibility. Use your spiritual authority to bless, not to control. Use your energetic sovereignty to maintain peace, not to feed ego. Use your intuitive discernment to protect, not to judge. And if you do that, if you maintain humility while operating in power, if you use your crown to serve instead of to dominate, then that crown is never going to be removed. It is going to become a permanent part of who you are. But now the moment has arrived to reveal the complete truth about why you were specifically chosen to be crowned at this moment of human history. It was not coincidence. It was not luck. It was not just because you completed your personal journey. It was because your specific journey, your unique suffering, your particular transformation prepares you perfectly for what is coming. Because here is what you need to know. Humanity is entering a period of unprecedented transformation. I am not prophesying apocalypse. I am observing patterns that anyone can see if they look honestly. Old systems are collapsing. Institutions are losing credibility. People are losing faith in authorities they used to trust blindly. And in the middle of that transformation, humanity is going to desperately need something. Living examples that it is possible to maintain peace, integrity, and hope when everything around is changing. You are one of those examples, not because you have answers for all the world's problems, but because your life demonstrates that it is possible to go through personal hell and emerge not bitter, not cynical, not destroyed, but stronger, wiser, more compassionate. And when others see that in you, when they notice there is something different in your energy, something stable in the middle of chaos, something luminous in the middle of darkness, they are going to want to know your secret. And your secret is not information you can transmit with words. It is transformation you lived. It is character you forged. It is integrity you maintained when it would have been easier to compromise it. That is the teaching the world needs now. Not more pretty words, not more spiritual theories, but living examples of real transformation. And tonight, when heaven crowns you, you are being officially commissioned as one of those examples. Your mission is not to save the entire world. It is to be a beacon of light for those specific ones whose journeys resonate with yours. And that is more than enough. So receive your crown tonight with gratitude. Wear it tomorrow with humility, and use it forever with integrity, because that is what chosen ones do. Not because they are better than everyone else, but because they are reliable in ways most people never develop. You are that reliable person, and tonight, heaven recognizes it officially. All that loneliness that seemed pointless. It was your final exam, and you passed. Welcome to your coronation. If you recognize that you passed your level 3 test 7 days ago, and you are ready to receive your celestial coronation tonight at 3:33, write 777 in the comments to amplify that frequency of spiritual graduation. Subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications to receive more revelations about how your journey as a chosen one operates at levels that transcend common understanding. Share this video with someone who also feels they finally completed their spiritual initiation and is ready to be crowned, because chosen ones need to recognize each other in this critical moment of planetary transformation. Together, we are stronger. Your coronation begins tonight at 3:33. Be ready.